Thank you for watching, and remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support.
As we head into tomorrow. So Tallahassee, not the only place where a record could be tied or broken today. Tampa getting within a couple of degrees, forecasting a high of 81. Orlando, we're forecasting you to get up to 86. That would tie the record set back in 1924. So some of these records are pretty old. Now, the temperatures will be cooling down as thunderstorms come through Tallahassee. As few could be strong, possibly severe later on. And then we're going to work our way down there into the 40s. Look at that tarmac covered in snow. Check on your flights because there have been some delays today, mostly de-icing delays across the northern tier of the U.S. So Frida brought some really good snowfall across parts of the Midwest from eastern Iowa through northern parts of Illinois on up into Michigan. Most of those areas in purple saw a good 5+ inches of snowfall, and some of the numbers we've seen have been pretty impressive. Now the temperatures so cold behind all of this that if the snows have not been treated or the snow hasn't been plowed off, you're still going to have some issues. So that's what we're seeing in the northern parts of Missouri. Some of the roads there still have some snow on them. Big time improvements here across southern parts of Iowa, but still a few lingering side roads here in eastern Iowa having problems. But the main thoroughfares, 35, 80, 70, are all looking good as of right now. Here's a look at some of the snowfall totals. We've had a lot of numbers between the 5 and 10 inch range, especially from southern Iowa on over into parts of Illinois. Brookfield, that's a suburb of Milwaukee, with 2 inches of snowfall, and there you can see Pittsburgh coming in at just over 4 inches. Now, as for the northeast, we're getting that snow coming in across the region right now, kind of winding down across the mid-Atlantic. A couple flurries for you here across the Detroit metro area, but the snow heaviest right now across northern parts of New York and into northern parts of Vermont. Burlington could pick up a good 3 to 5 inches of snowfall, but along I-95, at least for now, we're looking at too warm of temperatures, but that's going to change with time. And with a new area of low pressure building in, we've got new alerts for the D.C. metro area. We're going to have an update on that coming up. Pushing through Pensacola right now as well. And we have a lot more development of what's taking place here into central parts of Georgia and on up into the Carolinas. That's kind of that leading edge of what was a line of thunderstorms, which is now broken with new development here. No lightning. We do have lightning detection on it, but you may get some gusty winds, and we're seeing some signs that that could intensify just a little bit going forward here now as we head towards the afternoon. Here's a look at what's happening across the Carolinas. There you can see Myrtle Beach about to get wet in short order here. We've had rain in Charlotte. We've had rain in Raleigh. That's all been relatively light into northern parts of North Carolina and on up towards Norfolk and into Virginia Beach. So slowdowns on the roads can be expected along I-75, I-20, I-95 through the Carolinas, but also some airport delays are going to be a possibility here as well. Low clouds and rain are enough to cause delays from time to time, especially when we have higher levels of volume. No big delays right now across parts of the north or southeast, but that could be a possibility as we head towards the day. We have seen a couple of delays into the northern airports because of de-icing in places like Pittsburgh and Detroit. That usually only holds you up about 15 or 20 minutes. Not a big deal there. Now, as we head towards tomorrow, delays could be significant in the Carolinas, but also into the mid-Atlantic. Washington, D.C. under a winter storm watch now. I think flights could be delayed, especially in the morning hours for tomorrow, and that could snowball throughout parts of the day. But improvements across parts of the plains as well as into the lower Mississippi River Valley. And then by Tuesday, I think much of this area is going to be looking a lot better as we bounce back from our winter storm and start to bounce back from some of our temperatures in the 30s below zero near the U.S.-Canadian border. Now we're seeing temperatures in the teens below zero, so that's progress. But that's, you have to ask yourself at some point, how much colder does it have to get where it just doesn't really matter anymore, right? Cold is cold. It's freezing out there, below freezing out there. 9 degrees below zero in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities. You got the goose egg here in Des Moines. Omaha, 3 degrees. We've got 8 in Sioux Falls. Bismarck, 4 degrees below zero. The winds have not been too bad so far today. They're starting to pick up a little bit. So when we get some of these gusts, that will really drive down the feels-like temperatures. But overall, the winds won't be a huge factor. So that's a little bit of good news. I know we got a lot of football games that are going to be going on. The Vikings are not at home. They're playing in Green Bay. It's going to feel like about 5 degrees below zero at kickoff later on this evening. Your average high this time of the year in Minneapolis, 24 degrees. So we are way below that here today. 2 degrees, that's what it's going to say on the thermometer at best. But you'll get closer to average on your Monday, and check out Tuesday there, getting up almost to the freezing mark. So the cold air is really entrenched. This has been the coldest blast of Arctic air that we've had to deal with so far this season. So much of the east has been above average, so this really is something that all of us are feeling at this time. As we head towards tomorrow morning, you can see go right back down there, but a little bit of progress being made. So that kind of tells you we've bottomed out. We're still going to stay cold, but the worst of it is now starting to retreat just a little bit. Chicago, your average high, 33 degrees. You picked up another 4+ inches of snowfall at O'Hare. A couple of light snow flurries still kind of lingering. We've got a little bit of influence coming in off the lake, but you'll be into the 20s here again tomorrow, and then back into the 30s as you head into your Tuesday. So winter certainly gripping this part of the country, starting to loosen its grip a little bit, but won't be going away. And what about you into the Northeast? Let's take a look at these temperatures. That cold air working its way into interior parts of the Northeast. That will work its way tonight near the I-95 corridor. And as that next wave of moisture comes in from the south, we're going to be talking snow spreading into parts of the mid-Atlantic. Likely maybe a couple of flakes in New York City. You got a better chance over towards Long Island, but you're going to miss out on a lot of it here in places like Boston and likely on up towards Portland. But look at the temperatures or the forecast wind chill temperatures by tomorrow morning. 5 in Syracuse and 0 in a place like Burlington. That's after about 4 inches of fresh snow. All right, we like to say that this Frida is going to be out of here, and then we don't have to worry.